You hear that? What's that sound? What is that sound? Do you hear that sound? What's that sound? Oh, who said that? Who said that? What could that sound be? What is that? What was that? I heard a little something. Hello, sussy baka. We're trying to figure out a mystery right now. You hear that sound? It sounds like a sheep. I don't mean me. Wonder what that could be. Let me check and see if it's over here, actually. I think I might know what that is. Hold on. Don't worry, we're start the chat and stream here in a second, but I need to go, I need to figure out what that sound is. Cause like, off the, you know, the first thought that I have is like, it sounds kind of like I'm in a barn, you know? Like, it sounds like a sheep, you know? A little weird, if you ask me. Like, I've heard sheep before. I know that that sounds kind of like a sheep, but I'm a little bit like, I mean, if we're streaming, where would we get sheep from? You know? Where could they be to make that sound? Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Hold on. Let me look over here. 1 second. Don't go nowhere, okay? Oh, no shot. Yo, guys. You're gonna love this. You're gonna love this. You're gonna love this. Review GT, welcome. Welcome in. We're trying to figure out what the sound is. There's something going on. There's some mystery sound. We're trying to figure out what it is, and I think I figured out what it is, actually. Yeah, that's right. That's right. There's a whole flock come to join us. Check it out. We got the buddies. Like, you guys are buddies, but like these are buddies too. All right, let's see what you guys are saying. What's happening here? Hold on, let me do this. Bro, in Saudi Arabia, in Eid, we eat sheep with rice. That's like, look, that's understandable, but like, come on, man. Don't say that in front of my friends here. Don't say that in front of my friends. What up, 628? What you doing? Review GT. What's what you saying? How you do that? How I do what? How I do what? Bringing in sheeps, fellow sheeps. I mean, you guys are kind of sheep too, right? You're in the flock. That's what. That's what we've called. That's what we've called the viewers. Oh, the pun makes sense now. Ain't no pun. I'm a sheep girl, and these are some sheeps. Oh, also, I don't have Yerba today. For once. Review GT, what you dropped in on a Rust stream the other day. How'd you find me? Because I don't recognize your name. And also, you have literally no personality. You need a different shtick. The WTF ain't gonna live very long. What do? Are you a reviewer? Like a game reviewer? Clyde's just magic, spawning in sheep from the great beyond. No. They came here. Like, we're not magic here. I'm a sheep. That's a sheep. That's a sheep. That's a little sheep. Look at that one. Look at that one. Hold on. Let me move out the way. That's a little one. Look at it. Oh, there's more behind me. Hold on. Look. Meh. Meh. I'm a sheep, see? Meh. Meh. Yeah, look at that lamb. Look at that lamb over there. Hanging out with his mama. Being like, I can't walk. I'm tired. My little legs, they're like 2 days old and they weak. Weak as fuck. Then the mama be like, I'm gonna wash out your mouth with soap if you talk like that again. How you do the sheep? I'm subscribed. Hell yeah. Glad to hear it. How you do the sheep? How do you become a sheep? Well, I gotta say I genuinely don't have an answer for that. You're gonna have to ask my mama and my dad. Because, I mean, I could explain that, but actually, you know what? You might want to ask your mom and your dad. How did I get to be who I am? How did I get to be a YouTube subscriber to this Clyde guy? Six says, little do we know, that's all of Clyde's extended family back there. No, we ain't related. They're the sheep. That's like a little, that's like speciesist. That's like assuming everybody in the same species is related. Like, I suppose, you know, if you go back far enough, but like the degrees of separation there is well into the thousands, you know what I mean? That's at least. Hi, Grandma Machine. That's not Grandma Machine. Look, there's no resemblance. Look at her. That derpy ass face. And then look at mine. Look at mine. No resemblance. Motherfucker got ears. Yeah, see? Yeah. You got a derpy face, bro. Don't even. How do you do the sheep thing in the back? The sheeps just come out, dude. Like, they just kind of hanging out. By the way, I brought you guys out to the pasture. That's why the sheeps showed up. See, we were here first. We were in the pasture. Sorry, I didn't show it to you guys. I was just kind of keeping your attention over here, looking at me, you know, here in the studio. But then the sheeps come by. So that's how they came in the back. They just kind of showed up. You ever been to Ireland? I haven't been, and I really want to go. But apparently they've got a thing where, like, it's so common for people to just, like, it's very laissez-faire there as far as, like, if you're a farmer and you want to, like, go from one parcel of land to another with your livestock, you just take them up the road. Literally just like herd them up the fucking road, just like you know where a car would go. And it's like a 1-lane road too in those cases. You literally just, yep. And like, what do you do if a car's coming up the road against the livestock? Well, you know, them sheep ain't gonna give a shit. Them cows ain't gonna give a shit. You literally just have to stop your car and you have to wait for them to pass. And hopefully the farmer has a good handle on them, you know, he's just guiding them, you know, not in a panic, of course, no stampede. You play the VR. Yeah. I do play the VR. Yo, I gotta ask. Don't fill up the chat with WTFs. That's you don't need to commandeer the chat. You can just say it the one time. That's okay. I won't mind. But yeah, I play the VR. Yeah. We do VR stuff. That's actually where I started with all of this stuff. Doing music in VR. Well, I say it as if I stopped. No, I play a lot of shows in VR. I'm a VR DJ, and I help run Offshore with my buddy Brandon. And yeah. You too. What do you do? Are you a VR DJ or are you? Yeah, you all good, man. You all good. We all just kicking it here. You know how it is. But what do you do? What do you do in the VR space? Like, you play VR games? VR chat doesn't count as a game to me, but I mean that's where I kick it. You know, that's where I hang out. But yeah, apparently in Ireland you could just take your livestock up the road, and it's not like anybody's gonna like be bothered enough, you know, to call the authorities. And even if they did, I can guarantee you that the response would be just like, What do you want them to do? Livestock got to move. You gonna buy them a trailer and have them load them all up and have them schlep, you know, over multiple trips? Because you know, depending on the size of your flock, you can't load them all up into one trailer. You probably have to do multiple trips. You know, and they're just animals. It's not like they're gonna like do anything bad anyway. Like when they're herding, like sheep are a herding animal, cows are a herding animal, right? They if you're guiding them, they're gonna follow whoever's up in front, and when they see pasture, they're gonna go crazy for it. They're gonna go right to it. They're gonna start eating. They're not gonna like bang into your car and be all crazy and shit. They could give less of a fuck about your car, you know. So it's like there ain't really no problem for taking them up the roads, kind of thing. Oh, I like this view. Look, you can see the like pond in the back. Isn't that nice? The only problem is there's like a bunch of mosquitoes out there. You can actually tell. You can tell if there's mosquitoes there. Offshore is such a cool venue. Popped in to support DJ Turner when he played there. Want to play there one day for sure. Oh, yeah? Do ya? Oh. Fucking somebody just driving by like it's no big deal. Jesus Christ. There's no respect out here. No respect for the sheeps. Look at these sheeps. They didn't want to smell that exhaust. You know that shit wasn't an electric car. Play Gorilla Tag in the VR. It's a game. Gorilla Tag? Do you play as a gorilla? Do you... Like, it's just tag, but you are a gorilla? And also, can I color the furs on my gorilla body? Because I would like to be orange gorilla. Like a chimpanzee, but smaller. Or an ape. I think apes have orange furs. But yeah, 6. That's super sick that you come through for Turner's set. The buddy actually played another one. He played last week, actually, now that I think about it. Yeah, last Friday. We had Offshore 19, where Turner came back for a super heavy set, which is his first time back since taking on his new alias, which is simply Turner, as TRNR, like just shortened it. And I was like, dude, we gotta get you on then with the new name. We gotta let the people know that your name switched, you know. And he came through and killed it. Like no fucking surprise there. He went ham. Yes, you play as a gorilla, but with no legs. You can play gorilla. We can play Gorilla Tag one day. Yeah. That sounds just goofy enough that we probably could do it. We could probably do it as like a like I've been trying to structure these streams so that there's 2 exciting streams, I guess you could say, in a week. That would be, for this week, it was intended to be both Rust and Forza, and I only got to do the Rust. So that was like where the action was, and then today's is supposed to be the like unwinding chill stream kind of thing. Which a little bit I was almost like, maybe I just don't do one today, because Slyfest Minis just started. The Slyfest event that you folks are hopefully familiar with. They just started their series of mini festival stops. They just launched it with the first one tonight, and I had completely blanked on it because I've been so busy that I was kind of like, man, I kind of want to like I was finishing the work earlier. That's why the stream starting so late today. But I was thinking like, what if I just like get in VRC and then just like stream from in the venue? But there's a couple of problems with that, like mainly that it's hard to it's disrespectful to stream from venues without kind of like checking if the venue owners are okay with that, and also making sure that the people that you interact with know that you're streaming, because you know, sure, you're in a public space, but public space like the VRC instance, you know. So you have the sense of, you know, that you're in a room with people and that you know who you're talking to, kind of thing. Whereas if you're streaming it, then they have no idea who they're you know, sharing their life with or sharing their thoughts with. So it's a little disrespectful to do that. So it's like a lot of times what people will do is they'll go to a music event and they'll stream. And they might say it in their status that they're streaming, but what they'll do is they'll turn the voices off. So now you can't really interact with anybody. Review GT, hold on a second. Do not spam in the chat with your questions. I will not answer your question if you spam in the chat. because I asked you once not to be a dick. Please don't be a dick. We don't need that kind of shit here. We're all just hanging out. Chill out. I'll get to your question. And the short answer is, I will not give you my Discord. You want my Discord? Go sow some Discord elsewhere. Now that you spammed on the chat, I can't see Six's other message. Don't say sorry. I know you're not fucking sorry. Don't do that shit. Come on. How old are you? 12? 9? You're 9, aren't you? Are you 9? Are you 9? Are you 9? Are you actually 9? 9 years old? 9 months old? Are you 9 months old? Bruh. You're literally 9 months old. You just learned how to use a keyboard. It's okay. Since you're 9, do you know that gorillas actually do have legs IRL? Don't believe everything you see in games, like the game that you're playing. You're 15. Wow. You should probably not be here then. You can't accept a end user license agreement for watching a Clyde stream if you're under 18 years old. That's crazy. How'd you get here? How'd you get on YouTube? Hold on, I'm trying to squint my eyes at you. That's the best I can do. Wish I could have seen that. Now I want to see a Turner set at DJ's United new venue. Fuck. Tell me about the new venue. Have you spotted it yet? Because I saw something about them talking about it, but I didn't actually see the venue in person. Excuse me, guys. I'm trying to chat with the buddies. Yeah, I haven't seen their map. I want to say that I used to go a couple of times to DJ's United, like way back in the day. I'm talking like 2 years ago, maybe even 3 years ago at this point. Yeah, it would have been in 2020. That was kind of when my like VR era started. Was in 2020, kind of early on there. And I want to say that like I went to some DJU events back then, but I don't remember going to a lot of them. I remember that they were kind of at funny times for me because I used to do a lot of work with Loner Online. And if I recall correctly, those events would be like close to when Loner events would happen. So it was like, oh, well, I kind of have to be on point because back then I was really anal about being available for those like well in advance of the show because I was always nervous about stuff going wrong or whatever. And I was working on back end stuff. So it was like if anything was to go wrong, I was on point for taking care of it. So I didn't want to be at another event. And back then, like VRC events were always full of, crashing out because of people's avatars or just because your, computer would just start chugging. Mine definitely would back then. So it was kind of like, you would basically try to control as many variables as possible. You'd literally just show up for the one show that you want to do that night. And then if you bounce around to another one, that's fine. But if you're helping to run an event, you only go to that one world and you only go to that one instance of that world and you hang out there as long as you can, and eventually you crash out because, that's just what would happen back then. So I couldn't go to any of the other events because they would happen too close to the Loner ones, if I remember right. And then, of course, like in the natural progression of things, all of the events now happen on top of each other. And it's like, hey, that's just going to happen. There's a lot of events going on now. So maybe I'll have an easier time, especially with how offshore is very turnkey anymore. It's running those shows is pretty easy to do. Like starting one up, not hard at all. Yeah, I'm trying to think if there's like anything else to say on that. I mean, besides that, offshore events are always overlapping with somebody else. It always makes me feel so bad because I'm like, damn, every night that we throw an offshore event, there are guaranteed 2 or more flyers that have already caught my eye that makes me think, oh, I want to go see that. I want to go see these this lineup or like this artist that I know or haven't seen in a while. And then I just like totally miss it. And I try to catch the tail end of the show if it goes longer, But the rules are the rules. Offshore runs every 2 weeks, save for the occasional break, which only ever happens because something big is going on, like a holiday or, big travel plans kind of thing. Hey, whoa, 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 whoa! Look at the yo, don't look at that. Don't hold on. You didn't see nothing. You didn't see that lamb trying to nurse. Okay, hop on YouTube to see the game. Yeah, I got you. I'm gonna look at the gorilla tag later. I'm curious about it. I feel like I might have seen it once, but I don't know. Like it's not ringing any bells. I don't know what the title card would look like. I don't know what the gameplay would look like. But like I said, I don't play anything on VR that isn't VR chat. And to me, that's not even a game. That's just somewhere I go kind of thing. Yeah. Yeah, I get to play that for their reopening. Is that right? Hell yeah. You need to, if your set's online, you got to send it through to me, especially if you want to play offshore. I need to add you into the list of consider these DJs. Myself and Brandon, we maintain a list of DJs that we want to get in touch with, so that we can kind of like build up lineups. That makes sense. What we like to do is, on some occasions, we'll pick a performer that we're just, I don't know, like paying attention to at the time, or like we've spoken with recently that we're like, oh, it would be super sick if we could get them on a lineup with, and then we come up with a lineup that would basically build around them. And sometimes that's how it goes. And occasionally we'll let people know, like, yeah, we literally built this lineup around you, so like, this is your time, this is your time in the spotlight sort of deal. And that's kind of how we do it, And of course the format for offshore events is always that whether we're building a lineup around somebody or just putting together a vibe, which isn't like specific to any one person, there is always guaranteed to be at least one slot that is dedicated for an up-and-comer performer, which doesn't necessarily have to be literally a new performer, but does have to be somebody who hasn't played a lot of shows in this space and, would especially appreciate the leg up, or, like they're every bit as deserving as anybody else in this space to have a spotlight. And we like to go out of our way to make sure that somebody gets a chance to get a little bit of that spotlight when they might not otherwise have a lot of like a musical resume to stand on. And that's something that we're especially proud of. That's been something that we've done since day one. Every lineup has to have somebody on it that we feel isn't getting enough attention, kind of thing, and isn't somebody who's like, oh, this is a homie that we know has played like a bunch of shows and shit, and it's like people kind of know who they are. We don't do that. We go for, we don't know their work. We barely know their work. We might hear one mix from somebody and say, we didn't know who this person was 15 minutes ago, but they're enthusiastic about the space. They want to play a show. Let's get them on. We take that risk every single show, and we're really proud of doing that. So that's that's kind of the specifics of offshore. Obviously, that doesn't preclude anybody with past experience from getting on a lineup. I mean, that's what the other slots are for. But the kind of motivation there was that if anybody is going to, if anybody is going to have difficulty playing in the VR space because they can't get booked somewhere, we don't want that to be because of us. We want to specifically be an opportunity for people to like be part of that new artist funnel and get play in the circuit, because, well, offshore could be their first show, could be our second, could be their first show ever. We actually had that happen. I want to say Ketsu a while ago, we had him booked, and he's always been a good homie, but he was starting into DJing, and I was like, so you're playing, you're playing in like a couple weeks, right? And then he was like, which is kind of funny. I think from that booking, I got in the bad habit of like saying that to people, where sometimes I find out that somebody's a DJ and I wasn't aware of that, and I'll be a surprise and I'll be like, oh, sick. So you're playing offshore, right? Like literally that's the line I give them, is just deliver it just like that. Catch them off guard every time. Yeah, I'll make sure to send this to you. Does Twitter work? Twitter works great. I do have a Discord, by the way. You can find it if you you just got to open your eyes and look at the socials. It's very obvious. That's hella nice of y'all putting on for the underground for real. Hey man, we are the underground. All of us are in this space fucking around doing the same goofy ass shit. We putting on a headset, playing goofy sounds, we're making wiggly air. There's no need for ego here. You know, I play it up, a lot because it's funny and it's part of my character, but yeah, it's just, you know, we're all here doing the same shit. At the end of the night, our trackers run out of battery, our controllers die, we get tired, you know. So, we all go to a public instance once or twice to fuck around. Nox, formerly Review GT, you asked what the Discord server. Yeah, we do actually have a Discord server. I only have the one that I reside in, I guess you could say. Like, I don't have a personal Discord server, but you can find the offshore Discord server. If you find offshore VR on Twitter, just at offshore VR, it's in the bio for that, or it's the link. It's literally discord.hibernia.se, but that's, if you could spell that after hearing it for the first time, bless you. Like, it's just easier to find it on Twitter. I don't think it's a public server either. I think you have to have the link. You can't like search for it. And I don't remember what the motivation was for that, but that's how we set it up. I think it might have actually been because that was my first ever Discord server. So I was like, I don't know what I'm doing. I'm out here like, I don't know what I'm doing. But I set it up. It's got like 500 people in it, so it's got a little bit of travel. I think I might have scratched my watch. I was bumping it up against my desk, and I'm a little like, shouldn't. It's made of metal, and my desk is not made of metal. I mean, it's okay, but still, like, what the heck, bro? All right. What everybody doing tonight? No, I'm not putting the link in the chat. Go and fucking find it. If you can't find it, then I'm suspect as to your motivations for trying to join. It's offshore VR. It's easy to find. I'm making it difficult for you just because of your antics earlier, just so you know. I'm gonna make you pay for it. But don't worry, I'll let you out of meanie jail soon. That's me being meanie, putting you in jail, that is. What do you think of the sheep background, by the way, and the sheep sounds? The sheeps actually come out in full force. Originally, I had an idea that I was gonna try and load up a chill instance of Civilization 6. Because I was thinking about playing that earlier this week, and man, I just had... No, don't unsubscribe just because I won't cater to your very specific and lazy requests. If I give you the link, you're not even going to join it. Or if you join it, you're just going to leave. Send to your Discord, Clyde. Thank you. Appreciate it. Cnox, be like 628. They found it. They can follow basic instructions. The sheep sound made me think I left Minecraft running. Yeah, exactly. Oh, look at this view. Hold on. I gotta move myself. Now I gotta move myself the other way. Nox, are you a sheep secretly or like nah? Because you said you're 15, but like... Will you? Prove it. Prove that you'll stay in the Discord for more than like a day. Prove it. Find the link, join it up, and I will give you a personal shout out. Nobody gets personal shout outs in that server. I will give you a personal shout out if you find it. When you find it. I believe in you. Damn, listen to that boy. That guy go crazy. What was he saying? What was that sheep saying? You guys speak sheep? Oh. Yo. That's crazy. That sheep... Yo, he's telling you off, dude. Hold on, I gotta go over here. He just dropped a bomb. He just dropped a bomb talking about you guys. That was rude. I gotta go. I'm gonna have to talk to him. Oh, there's a dog. As a fellow sheep, dogs and I don't get along. I gotta wait for him to leave, then I'll come back. So what are you guys doing tonight? Y'all playing Minecraft? Y'all playing Gorilla Tag? Y'all hanging out with me? Did you see the Sidefest mini stream? I couldn't join in VR chat because I was doing the work earlier, but I was on the stream through most of it, so I was hanging out in the chat. That was super banger time. Ever start playing a set? I haven't seen an Ever set in quite some time. And a Gloomstone set. God, that guy's got... He's got a style. Like, there's something to the way he performs that just... He knows how to bring it, dude. He's gonna play, like, full-on fucking festivals someday. Promise you. I would buy Gloomstone stock right now. That's my actual financial advice to you. I'm a financial advising sheep now. Promise you. Oh, Chimp is packing soon. Where you going? Oh, the dog's gone. I can go back up. Chimp, where you going? Where you packing? You pack a heat. Wasn't able to pop in. That's totally fine. I was almost unable to myself. But hey, that happens. Oh. Guys, act cool. Act cool. Act cool. Oh! Motherfucker be looking at me. Don't you be eyeballing me. We're safe. Chimp. I literally just said act cool. And you're over there being all like, I'm gonna go to your mom's house. If I start acting up, that dog's gonna get at me. Then I'm gonna have to be like, no, but Chimp made me do it. Chimp was going crazy over there. Okay, we safe. Back to eating among the olive groves? What do you think this is? I mean, obviously it's like pasture, but like, why would you put up all these posts unless you were growing something, you know? Pasture is where you don't grow stuff. You just grow grass and then you put the livestock out to it, you know? Like me. I go like this. Ow. 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 And I go like this. Ow. 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 I go like that. Gotta catch Duckworth's sound. That's a name I haven't heard in a minute. What are they doing? I want to watch that in the Rampage open air live tomorrow. Fuck yeah! Isn't Protostar is playing Rampage tomorrow, right? Or sorry, no, that's Sunday. I want to say, like he played something related to that a day or two ago, and then said like coming back on Sunday, basically. He played a glitch hop set doing something. I saw a clip from that and I was like, man, I gotta kick it with that dude soon. Fucking good ass shit. I hope Rampage goes great for you then. Like, I'll bet that's super sick. I actually haven't been to a full size, you know, like festival kind of event before. I've been to one kind of like small one. And it was just run the 1 year. It was many years ago at this point, and they only did it the one time. It was very small because of the area that I was in. But it was, and it was like right in the center of the city. It was like they're in their downtown. It wasn't like out on grass or anything. It wasn't big enough for that. It was literally in like a sort of like plaza, I guess, like a business park of sorts. It was a really good time. Like the production was really good and the artists were great. Like I sort of personally knew one of the artists, so I was able to get in with some kind of like a VIP something or other and kick it with him for a little bit. But it was the only festival style event that I ever went to. Even though after that I was like, oh man, I'm hooked. I want to go. And I wasn't working at the time, so I didn't have any crazy dollars to spend on expensive ass tickets, which many years ago they were expensive, and today they're even worse. They're even fucking more terrible now than they used to be. And yet I was complaining back then. So I never went to any festivals, and at this point I don't think I ever will, unless it's like very extenuating circumstances, like, oh, I don't know, I'm being booked. Book your favorite Sheep Girl VR DJ for IRL performance. I'll bring VR visuals, promise. I'll even wear the headset while I'm spinning and stream it into VR chat, for all the VR homies. Don't test me, I'll do it. I'll do it. Alright, so Chimp's packing. Nox is looking for the Discord server for offshore. Six is kicking it and dreaming about going to a festival. And all of us are doing this while sitting on the banks of this weird sloped pasture. What is that sheep eating there, right there? Like, what is... Hey, buddy. What are you doing? What are you eating? Well, it's just a question, dude. Don't look at me like that. You ain't chewing your cud. I know you ain't doing that to me. Sheeps are a... You might say they're not the loquacious type. Except for me. I'm barely a sheep. Yo, taps online. Pew, 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 pew. Ooh, taps online. Unlocked. That just happened. Sheeps. Yeah, we're hanging out with Sheeps today, man. How you doing? We're having a cozy chat with some of my brethren, but not like we're not like related. We're in the same species, but that's it. I don't know these people. They were just hanging in the local pasture. We were hanging in the local pasture. Me and the chat, and then these sheep come over to see what me and the chat were doing, and then they didn't want to talk. They just wanted to eat, and I was like, okay, I guess. Ain't no biggie, but like kind of weird, chimp. You saunter over here, bring your whole gang, not even talk to us. You literally just, a couple of them keep. Excuse me, I'm talking to chat. A couple of them keep doing that. They're just bleating at us, but they're not really like saying nothing, They ain't really killing, they just yelling, that's it. Like second cousin at the Brevin barbecue. Not even that. These are like the kids up the street that are also at a family barbecue over the 4th of July weekend, but they prefer the smoked barbecue and we prefer the sauce-based barbecue, and we don't get along as a result, but we also don't know them very well, so it's kind of like, it's sort of a rivalry, but not really. Does that make sense? Does that make any sense at all? That's what these guys are. They're just providing the background noise, no music today, just chilling with the sheep. I try to keep my voice less variable, less loud, so that if you guys want to fall asleep, you can. So what's Taps doing today? What are you doing this weekend? What's happening? The random people that come to a wedding for the free booze. Now you're talking. That's exactly what these guys are. They're sheepy freeloaders. They wanted the grass. We were going to sit on it and have a picnic. But these guys come through and wanted to eat. So I guess they had other plans. I had a water and a yerba earlier. Pardon me while I scratch my face. I had a water and a yerba earlier. I finished them both, and now I like really need another water because like my throat's like strangely dry today. Probably because I only got out for a little bit. I went and looked at the water for a bit. Not that I'm like close to the water exactly, but hey, I did a little drive, a little cheeky drive. Went to see what was happening. There wasn't no fish. There was a lot of seagulls, but every time they would like dive into the water to grab something, they would come back empty-beaked. So, no fishies. Working on a penthouse show tomorrow night. Gotta get dripped out in a suit, listen to house music. Damn, and I thought I was the bougie one. Fucking penthouse show? Let's go, dude. What kind of... So you're gonna listen to house music? Are you gonna be spinning house music? Or are you just like helping run it and then other people are playing it kind of deal? And then you're also gonna like sneak around the penthouse and snap some pics being like, I had to grind hard for this view. And then you just casually don't tell people that it's where you're working that night. And then you keep doing that every time you work a show, and then you like fake it till you make it kind of thing, and then everybody'd be like, man, this Taps character, except we all know you don't go by Taps no more. Wink. Wait, hold on, I can't wink. Eh, eh, eh. I'm trying to wink. My tracking don't want to do it. What if I get really close? Hold on. Oh, it's hurting my eyes to do this. He's trying to make me blink. I'm not trying to blink for once. Not this time, helping run it. I played one of the penthouse parties though, playing UK Garage, and peeps loved it. Hell yeah, they did, because that's good fucking tunes. They got good taste. As do you. Good on you. I actually just saw something pop on my feed. I didn't know this artist before. They're called Jackson from Online. I assume they're a little on the popular side. I really don't know because I've seen their name pop up a couple of times in the last few months. But they put out a UK garage tune today, and it was just the perfect summertime vibes. And I was like, when I first got up, I put that on, and I was like, man, nothing's gonna bring me down starting this day off with this kind of sound, you know? And it was just like the perfect summertime bouncy something or other, you know? It was good stuff. I haven't bought the record yet, but I took a listen to it, and man, I took a shine to it. I spent like $20 on new music yesterday because I wanted to get a bunch of new hardcore because I don't have a lot of hardcore stuff in my library. And I had just seen Goreshit and DJ Sharpnel playing in their Rumble in the Donks tour. They had a stop up here, and man, that was a good fucking time. It was just like Sharpnel played this full fucking hardcore set, just going like 190, 200 beats per minute the whole time. It was just such a vibe. I was like, I need more of this kind of shit in my library, you know, to spin now and then, but mostly just to listen to and enjoy. So that's all I've been listening to for the last couple of days, and it's got me like full summer mood, peak summer mode, you know, ready for the 4th of July, ready for seeing some family, which is what I'm going to be doing next week. Reason I won't be doing the streams next week. So I'm going to be out doing all that, but it's going to be like a little bit like summertime, like when I was a kid, you know, where it's just run around, be loud outside, be stupid, you know. That's what the music has gotten me like in the mode for. I go by Taps for YouTube stuff though. Gotcha. I'll keep that in mind. The new Oppidan record is nuts. Oppidan. Oppidan. What does that mean? Is that or rather how you say it like that? How you say that? I haven't seen Sharpnel since they played at Rage House way back in the day. Good lord, what a blast from the past, Rage House. Man, I went to a couple events way back in the day, and at the time I was looking for a certain kind of experience with clubs, so I was really, I don't want to say like judgy, but I was very like I had a very short patience for seeing how shows were put together, so I didn't explore out too much. Like I would just know names and I would like stop in for a little bit, but I would be like, I probably won't come back like regularly for these. And unfortunately, Rage House, like way back in the day with the first map where it was, I think it was the one that had, it was like it had a bar off to the side. It was for the most part a box club, and I don't think there was even a video player there. So artists would just mic spam the sets. And prior to that, I hadn't seen that in VR clubs before. So I was like super like, all right, well, if this is how they're going to run, I'm probably not going to come back for these. But, you know, like at the time they were working on a second map, I want to say. So I was like, I'll come back for that and see like how things have progressed. But I kind of filed it under, yeah, the Rage House box. Yo, Trop, hi. How's it going? Welcome in. We're hanging out with not my brothers, not even like extended relatives, but just some fellow sheeps that happened to join us in the pasture. We were hanging out, chatting, and then the sheepies came through. But yeah, the Rage House box, like what it did was it gave me the impression that it was like, okay, I'm gonna file this under clubs that I go to if I want a really hardcore experience, you know, like super hard music. And I went to, I think the next Rage House that I went to after that was when Outcry had played there, and like it was just such a perfect match. He played a fantastic set, no surprise there. Fucking great, even though it was Mike's band. Um, and then it didn't go to any other ones until there was another map which was like all purple. And I want to say there was like a boat in it or something. But it was like way after that. I don't remember what the occasion was that I came through to that, but I think that was still when I was in the Rat Girl avatar. Actually, that was a long time ago, though. Pretend you didn't hear that. That doesn't fit into the lore. But yeah, yeah. So I think I only ever went to 3, maybe 4 Rage House events. Maybe 4. Yeah, the houseboat. That's right. Was it a houseboat? I didn't see no bed. Oh no, there was a bed because that was where you spawned, right? Because you would spawn in the bedroom, then you'd run downstairs, then go around. No, that's not right. I'm thinking of a different venue. Yeah, the one with like the super long vertical screen. That was an interesting one. I would have loved to have played there. That would have been super interesting to have visuals going all the way up like that. Closest thing I had to that was the one time I played, I think it was Slyfest 2021. They had kind of a similar screen going on where it was like super tall and it would wrap around onto the ceiling. And of course, you know, big event space, so it was like supersized screen. Yeah. I used to throw melodic events at the houseboat. Oh man, I could see that being such a vibe, you know? That would definitely fit. Imagine doing the melodic events in the box. You think that would fit with the goopy art or whatever? Slime art, I think is what they call it. Yeah. The final version of the map before it all went poof. Rip. I miss Slyfest 2021 good times. Yeah. It was definitely like, you know how there's those events in your life that they feel like everyone who's anyone is present. You know what I mean? Like, there's certain events where it's kind of like this is where the action is happening. In whenever it's the end of a year, you know, you can expect that Times Square is like where the action is happening. In the VR space, I feel like Slyfest is that, you know. In between, it's gonna be like, if you consider the like portal shows that we have nowadays. Most recently, the last one I was at was the latest ShelterCon, and that's definitely got that same feeling of like, obviously not everybody can be there because of, you know, all the many reasons of, well, in-person events when most of the people who engage with the space and these artists are geographically distributed is just going to be a non-starter. You're not ever going to get 100% of people there or even 90% of people there. Yeah, no matter how hard you try, much as you want to, it's just not possible. But it does give that same feeling, that same kind of presence of like, everybody is there. That's where the action is happening. It's a massive lightning rod of like, if there's anything that's going to be posted about online, it's going to be related to that event, whether it's some clip, a video clip of what's happening there, or like another event that's happening as a sort of like we're refugees from this event because we couldn't go. Whether it's like, oh, if it's in VR, it's like, oh, the instance was full, so we're having like a almost like a reaction event to it. And if it's IRL versus VR, kind of the same situation as like if there isn't a way to have everybody at the IRL event. If it's a portal event, you're going to go to the instances that are set up for it. But if it's not a portal event, then it's like you might show up at a in a VR instance where you have a stream of the in-person event. Can't remember the last time we did that, but I want to say that there was one time that it was like, I think it was Ultra Festival, and I basically just went to a world with a few friends, and we just had it on the stream, on the video player, and it was just such a vibe because it was like 5 of us just hanging out, chatting, talking, and like we still get the awesome music and vibes from a festival event, And we just chat through the whole thing and just sit there for hours. That was the thing. I don't know. And then one year, like not even VR really, but like adjacent to the VR space, a bunch of the VR homies actually taps you. I don't remember if you were around for this. You might have been involved in it, but there was a thing where somebody created a Discord server that was like just like called Pizza Party or something, and it was intended to be a Christmas Day one-time event. And what happened was that for like a week, we just got people in, and it was just like, oh, this is going to be our version of like Friendsgiving or like a Friends Christmas get together kind of thing. Where after everybody is done with the normal Christmas festivities in their homes with, their family and close friends kind of thing, we get online. And the deal was everybody had to get a pizza. Either they cook it themselves, get a takeout, whatever, ahead of time. They had to get a pizza. Yeah, it might have been before your time. You would have loved this shit. It's so fucking stupid. And it's like perfect for our scene, because it's just so goofy and out there. Everybody was required to get a pizza, take a photo of it before eating it, get another photo just randomly online of like some abandoned building or like war zones aftermath or like any kind of like just visual representation of like desolation and like just the destruction of society as if like a bomb had gone off kind of thing. And everybody got together into a voice call, a massive fucking voice call, and we would eat the pizza, just be memeing, just be hanging out and chatting and stuff. And then we would all coordinate that at the same time. We would tweet saying, man, that was a good pizza, posting only 2 pictures with it. One being the pizza and one being the abandoned building or destroyed location or whatever. And everyone lost their shit. Yeah, I know. It's so bizarre, so random. I don't remember if it was Kai of Shelter Fame that did that or if it was fucking why am I forgetting the homie's name? The one who used to go by Etler. 90 and formerly Etler, and I think maybe it goes by a different name now. But I want to say that it was one of them that was like putting it on just as like the most out of left field shit. Everybody posts their picture. Everybody did it right. Everybody did it perfectly. And the whole like rest of the community that wasn't that didn't like get in time basically and didn't know what was going on all came through being like, did you guys get like all of your accounts hacked at the same time? Because this was very strangely coordinated. There was like maybe 30 or 40 people involved with this shit, and it all went up at the same time. And color me like the most like the thing that I remember most from that event wasn't even us posting about that, but it was that the rules of the server was that it was going to be deleted. The entire server was going to be deleted after those pictures were posted, after the pizza was eaten. And all of us were in voice at the same time, and we're like, just hanging out. We were like, oh my god, this is so funny. We're just like reading off the feed to each other of what we're seeing, and people messaging them being like, yo, is your account hacked? That's weird. What's going on? I'm so confused. And then all of a sudden the call drops. And I'm like, wait, what? And I'm looking around in Discord and I'm like, wait, the server's gone. And I shit you not, they fucking deleted the server while we were talking and while we were hanging out. And it was kind of like, well, all these people are like, they're in the VR space, but we didn't at the time have any one central server for all of us to call home. So then, like, the whole group, like, split up into a couple of subsets and went to, like, different respective servers for, like, whatever VR click they were in kind of thing. So there would be, like, some Dieselworks folks over in their server, and then there was, like, some others, I want to say, doing the shelter thing. And I think I went with the shelter folks because there was a couple of people I was specifically talking with at the time, and I was like, trying to continue that conversation. And it was the most like, even we were like, what the fuck, Welcome back, Review GT. I hope you found the Discord server. Let me get caught up. Def gonna watch Lost Lands in VR. I think that was before my time. Yeah, definitely watch Lost Lands in VR. When is Lost Lands? Is that coming up super soon? I don't think I've ever, like... For some reason, Lost Lands is just one of those festivals that I've known about, but I just never, like, followed, I guess. Like, I never paid attention to it. I never looked into, like, any of the stuff that comes out of it. Like, obviously it's cool when somebody gets announced to play it, But, like, that, Burning Man, EDC... Like, I've just never cared for those festivals for some reason, but I've always cared about Ultra and Electric Forest. Anything else I don't pay attention to. And I don't know why that is. Tomorrowland, like, I know about them. I know they're a thing. I used to keep up with them a little bit back when I was, like, trying to do the whole producer getting famous thing. Now I don't do that. I do this. Sheep Girl Online get famous. And I don't, like... I don't know. There's like certain festivals that I look at and I'm just like, yeah, it's not for me. And then there's other ones that's like, oh yeah. But the thing of it is, you could swap the lineups from one festival to the other, and I'd still say the same thing. It's literally just like the look of the festival and like my impression over having watched some of the streams in the past. So it's like a really weird like prejudice that I have, and I don't mean to. It's literally just generated off of like a couple things off of the marketing, I guess, and that's it. So it's not fair for me to do that. But for some reason, Lost Lands just like kind of struck me in that same way of like, it's just not my thing. But that doesn't make any sense because most of the artists on those lineups I would totally fuck with, being at a set for. So like, I don't know, very weird. You get in a little bit of like Clyde lore, a little peek into my brain, my sheep brain. All right, what else did I miss? I think the first time I met you was when 2TD brought me to my first loner, which was like loner 11. Damn. Good fucking times coming in then. I think my first loner was the third one. I feel like I like didn't catch the second one, but like I had just gotten aware of it after the second one. And I think I attended the third one. And then I didn't miss a single one. While I was working there, like I didn't miss a single one. Even when I was on trips, I would still take a computer with me that could be that would run VR chat, so that I could at least log in and like just show my face, I guess. One time I was at a hotel with either it didn't have Wi-Fi whatsoever, and I was just on my phone hotspot, or it was the shittiest Wi-Fi I've ever had in a hotel room. But I logged into Loner and I was able to get down to the dance floor, and I was able to talk with Zeal for a moment, but the music wouldn't play, nobody's voices would come through, and nobody was moving except if they would like jump around. It was that bad of internet. It was so crazy. And that was one of the last ones that I went to before the big hiatus that they had. But it was like, I remember being very like, I don't want my being in this hotel be the reason that I miss a loner, you know. And of course, I had the stream on my phone, which somehow was just fine. But then I wanted to get into the instance, you know. So I made sure to keep the thing going. Lost Lands is in September. I really want to go someday. It's Space Music Disneyland for 4 days. My guy, 4 days at a festival. You will die. What do they do for that? Like, you start Thursday, go till Sunday, or do they do Friday to Monday? And then you just have to take off the rest of the following week to recover. 4 fucking days. That would be like you're living at the festival for a while there. That would be so fucking fun. Can you imagine like pulling up in one of them little RVs and like just parking it and just fucking pulling out a cooler of beer every day and just kicking it, you know? And literally just doing music stuff the whole time. You link up with other like would-be festival bookies in the future, you know, other fellow DJs, and just throw little pop-ups at your fucking RV and shit. Huge pre-party Thursday through Sunday. God damn, that's such a wild time. I would get so sent. I feel like the best days for big events like that, the few like multi-day events that I've ever been to, whether it be a convention or like the one festival that I mentioned that I went to a long time ago, the best times are always Saturday. Like Friday is always a big like you're figuring shit out, it's good, it's fun and everything, but like Saturday is always the main day to me. Friday night is always a super exciting like pregame to it, I guess. But Saturday is always when it all lands. Everything that's going to happen is going to happen on a Saturday, in my view. No matter what kind of a multi-day event it is. I've been a headbanger since I was 16. Lost Lands is like the headbanger endurance test. Yeah, riding the rail for, 18 hours a day kind of thing. Well, actually, the music probably doesn't stop in the night, does it? If it's a super long festival, then they probably just go through the night well into the morning, and then you have like, I was going to say like chill sets between like 3 a.m. and 10 a.m., but probably not even. Probably still going hard, huh? I gotta clear out notifications on my phone. Somebody added me on the Discord. Wonder who that could have been. Maybe somebody in the chat. So talk to me. What's happening this weekend? What's everybody doing? What's Taps got going on? I think I already asked you that, actually. Nope, but recently they've had like chill sets, drum and bass artists, bass house artists. Been like a big spectrum at Lost Lands. That's really nice to hear. Like, man, if there's one thing I adore when it comes to events is a varied lineup, no matter how long the event is or what it's styled as. Like, going hard doesn't have to mean having only the most aggressive genre you can possibly play and always playing that across all the artists on your lineup. Or, especially in this case, like, across a whole long-ass event. That's not, to me, that's not, like musically interesting, because at some point everybody's going to be playing the same bangers that everybody had played like 6 hours before them. And it's a little like, all right, yep, same songs. But like having different genres like that over the course of the night or the course of the day, like to me, that would like be the natural ebb and flow, right? I feel like, the festival streams that I've watched, or just events that I've watched, my favorite ones are like D&B or just like non-dubstep. Well, I guess the context should be set there that I used to watch a lot of festival streams and event streams back in like 2013, 2014, 2015. So like take this view with a grain of salt, but back then my views on events were that they were really fantastic when they would play like drum and bass, electro house, basically anything that wasn't core dubstep stuff. um, or too much trap during the like sunset hours, and then as it got darker at night, then you have more of the big name dubstep artists and like them playing, you know, their hits. And then as the night wears on, you start transitioning back into more like house kind of shit and like bass house and that sort of thing, um, which you then keep going through the daylight hours of the following day. And then, you know, then it becomes just free form throughout the day, whatever everybody's listening to or whatever, and then kind of repeat that cycle for the next night, right? So that's not me being prescriptive of a formula, because I mean it's music shit. There's no formula to it, and there's always ways of bucking the rules to make interesting experiences. Um, when events followed that kind of format, I really really enjoy them, and I really love the flow that they had. But things are probably different nowadays. There's probably a lot more variety than what I used to hear back then. So I'm sure my taste would change if I was to sit down and pay attention through a whole festival or two. I just like watching all their live streams and then seeing how those flow. Then I would be like, yeah, if I was putting together this lineup, I would probably put this artist ahead of this one. But like otherwise, that was like the perfect like transition from one into the next kind of thing. Yeah, I'm sure it would be a very different experience. Uh, Other than the penthouse party, just editing footage, doing classwork, and writing records. You keep it busy, homie. You got a packed ass weekend. Favorite live streamed set I ever saw was Chami Ultra of Miami 2014. I was in high school watching that stream. Oh my god, little baby taps back then. Man, fucking 2014. What an interesting time for music. There was so much good shit coming out then. Now I'm starting to sound boomer, but I mean that's that's just how it was, man. That's just, man. I still got like a bunch of the stuff that I spin nowadays. Oftentimes we'll have one or two tracks that were released around that time that I'm gonna bring back, because for some reason that's a thing for me. Is I love to dig into like, not like older songs exactly, but in DJing terms, where everybody's getting stuff and playing it that like, it's like songs that are like a week old or like a month old, and then just constantly rotating out stuff. Nah, I go way back. I go way back in my library and be like, I used to jam this on the way to work. I used to jam this on the way to and from classes, you know? What kind of classwork are you doing? Are you doing anything super stressful? Anything super involved? Anything kicking your ass right now? Because like the easy classes, I ain't giving a fuck about those. Tell me about the hard ones. Tell me about what's difficult for you. What's making your life what's making you feel like you're working when you're at class, you know? Also, by the way, since we've been chatting, like, feel free to gnaw on some of this grass if you want. Like, if you need a snack, I haven't offered you no water because, well, we were at a pond earlier, but clearly we moved. So I don't got no water, but like, you're welcome to have some of this chaff here, you know. Audio engineering gets all stressful. Damn, I'm sorry to hear that. Stressful is one thing. Hard doesn't have to necessarily be stressful, but you know, I'll let you tell me what the experience is. I'm getting wrecked, but I'm also learning a lot about working with live audio. I'll bet you are. I'll bet you know a thing or three that I don't know nothing about. I can't even say that I'm self-taught. Like that implies that I was taught or like did research or whatever. Like I've just fucked around in a couple of different DAWs over the years. Like I can't say that I have like knowledge to dispense or anything. I just have the I know that if I use this thing and turn this knob this way, then it sounds good. But if I turn it too far, it's too much. You know, I have that kind of like producer, like tinkering learning, I guess is probably the way that I would say it. Like I have tinkering experience, but I don't have like actual education there, I suppose. Like I did, like I was classically trained in music theory when I was learning the guitar back in high school. So I spent a lot of years working with sheet music, guitar tabs, like full compositions of songs that I would break down into guitar renditions kind of thing, long before the producer days. So no knowledge of mixing, just of playing an instrument, reading sheet music, translating things from, you know, from sheet music to guitar tabs and back, writing songs in Guitar Pro 5, which I probably still have an installer for somewhere. Yeah, I'll smoke some of the grass. I don't know if we have that kind. If we do, it's going to be out back. You're welcome to have some, though. You're welcome to have as much as you can smoke. Hopefully these guys didn't eat it. Like this one right here. This sheepy right here. I think that homie smoked it. You can see. You can see. Hold on. Let's ask. Hey, buddy. Hey, buddy. Was you smoking on the grass? It's okay. You can tell me. Doesn't want to say. Oh, this homie. This homie right here was smoking on the grass. Yeah. Can't hide it from me. I see everything. I was takery until I started at Berkeley. My mixdowns and masters are so much better now. I'm also classically trained. Went to school for composition before dropping out. Yeah, if I recall correctly, you played an instrument, or maybe multiples. I think you... Let me see. I think you played brass instruments, right? Am I wrong there? You weren't woodwind. You were kind of a brass kind of person. To me, anyway. When I used to be at the University of Tulsa. That homie's totally baked. Yeah. A lot of homies in this field being baked. It's just, you know. You already know. They're in a pasture all day. What are they going to do? You know, they're going to eat. They're going to shit. They're going to blah. And they're going to smoke the grass. I played the French horn and trumpet for 15 years. Damn. French horn. That's an interesting choice. I'd be curious how you got into the French horn. Like, did you start... Well, if you played both French horn and trumpet, my guess is that you did, like, marching band with trumpet, and then you played the French horn during the off-season for the sporting events, right? Correct me if I'm mistaken. That's my theory about your background. Tell me if my detective hat being on, if my thinking cap is working today. That's wild that you're doing audio engineering at Berkeley, though. What's that experience like? Like, you already said that it's stressful because it's audio engineering, but it's like, would you say that's because of the field, or is that because of the school that you're going to? Because, like, I know the name Berkeley, which means it's probably hard. I started on the horn, actually, when I was in marching band. I played the mellophone, which was the marching French horn. Mellophone? The fuck is that? Got into trumpet for jazz. Ah, you're a jazz kid. Oh. I was never into jazz, man. Which is kind of funny because that would have been an excellent opportunity for me to play the guitar instead of being in normal, like, concert band stuff. But, nah, I never did it. Hold on a second. I need to look up mellophone and stick that shit on the... Oh, yeah. I seen one of these. Oh, man. I seen one of these. Hold on. I'm gonna put a... Wait, no, I want the image. I'm gonna put this on the thing. That way you guys can see it. Oh my god, it won't give me a picture. It won't let me take the image link. But I'm a crafty sort. There's always a way. Yeah, like that. Alright, check this out. Mellophone. Oh. Wait, browse. URL. Enter URL. That. Look at that. That's a mellophone, huh? You think I can play one of these? What if I go like, hold on. It needs to be smaller for me. This is how big it would be on me. All right. Can you tell me like what the sound would be for this? Like just in chat, say what the sound is. I'm gonna guess what it is, and I'm gonna demo it for you, and then you can tell me how accurate it is. Gotta warm up the lips. Gotta warm it up. Okay, I can't do that anymore. I can't do that anymore. Get rid of this thing. Hold on, I'm gonna knock this out with the horn. That's a real horn. These on my head. I'm doing it online. It's super intense, but very good. Very good programs and professors. Very glad to hear it. I hate to hear when people start into a class and it's just like, I already know I'm going to hate this because the instructor is absolute dog water. You know. It has a really rich, dark tone. I can link a video. Oh, we gonna listen now, huh? Alright, let me get rid of this extra browser window. I'm gonna be like this next week. I'm gonna go find a pasture, just chilling, hang out with my homies. You know. Wait, I'll be right here. I'll be right here. I'll be right here. Kind of under the shade, but not so far into the shade that I get cold. Can't hit it. Oh. I gotta switch windows so I could pull up some stuff. Okay. Oh, I didn't see this. Wait. I actually played pro symphony gigs before COVID fucked everything up. It was good money. Really? That's an interesting little detail. What the heck? Noir, why you say sheep? Where you see a sheep? Well, then I just noticed that my one view of the chat has all chat and one has top chat, so I didn't see that message. There we go. Now we've got everything. Man, pro symphony gigs. You know what? It's like super. I don't know. Like that statement reminded me of something, which is super random. But I'm gonna share a little bit more Clyde lore. There was a time way back, long before I was doing production, and when I was out of bands, and I was still playing the guitar, and I was still writing and recording a lot, but it was all solo instrumental guitar stuff with a drum machine and some synthesized instruments, but I wasn't really doing like any real DAW work. I think I was still recording everything in Audacity, for fuck's sake, you know? I think I had another piece of software for the drum machine stuff, but it was so rudimentary, and I was thinking like, how am I gonna do this musically if it's just me, you know? Because I had been in bands for so long, and then I stopped doing bands, and I was just like, I was having a lot of like creative difficulty with working with others because I would always have very wild out there ideas of like really trying to push the envelopes of what compositions could be. like pieces where the time signature might change every single measure, you know, from like a 4/4 to a 3/4 back and forth. So technically a 7/4, but you know, who's keeping track? But like doing like shit like that, like the kind of caliber of artists that I was working with was like they weren't quite there. So it was really hard to convince them to do anything that wasn't, you know, emulating the rock bands that were dominating the airwaves at the time, which were very like they were hard, but I mean that was like mid 2000s, so it was just very grungy sound. It was very like it wasn't musically challenging for an instrumentalist, you know. So to me it wasn't interesting. I was digging into like, oh man, how do I write something that's literally so hard to play that like only like the top like 5% of players in the world would be able to pull it off kind of thing. And this is long before YouTube and whatnot to show you that like, oh, excellent guitarists are a dime a dozen. But back then I was like, small town, there's only a few guitarists that are like at the top, you know, and I'm definitely one of them. And I just knew it, you know. So having to deal with bandmates that couldn't like match that made it really hard to write music for them, because it was like, well, the guitar is going to be the only part that's really interesting then, right? So I remember sitting down really close to New Year's, or it might have been like after New Year's had already passed. It was like super late at night, and there was this thing on the TV where it was like a performance at the Lincoln Center in New York. And I remember like at that point in my limited worldview history, I had seen a couple of those performances like pop up on the TV. So I was like, oh, this must be like a bougie place. Of course, back then we didn't say bougie, but like this must be like a real nice performance venue, and this must be like a prestigious thing to be able to play here. Like not just anybody can just walk up and get booked there kind of deal, or like bring their tour there or whatever. And I remember it being like, it was something that was musically interesting to me because it was out of left field, knowing that back then I was listening to metal bands and like a little bit of electronic music. And I was like, there's no path for me to take the kind of guitar playing that I do right now and take it to a stage like that. But I remember like super late at night, just sitting on my dad's couch watching them whatever performance was on, and it was like some kind of a, you know, stringed orchestra, and I was like, that would be awesome if I could someday play there, doing some kind of music of my own, you know, preferably as a solo artist. But at the time I didn't know how that would work, so I was like, man, that's gonna be a goal for me, musically a goal. A few years later, I picked up a DAW and was listening to Kill the Noise and was getting familiar with Skrillex's work. And it was from then onward, full send dubstep artist. I'm trying to be a producer. And for the most part, I packed up my guitar and only pulled it out on really rare occasion to make sure I didn't get too rusty. And sometimes when I wanted to try and mix in guitar into some of the music that I was writing. But basically, I went completely electronic after that and never had any serious plans to come back to the guitar. So, yeah. Thanks for giving me that reminder of that moment of being like, how could I perform at the Lincoln Center? Being a solo artist with no plans of rejoining a band and no plans of switching to like symphonic sounds or, you know, anything more conventional like that. Like I still want to push the envelope kind of deal. Noir says, Marino, you are. Yes. Can you tell? Can you tell? Is it me? Is it me? Is it me? It was super fun. My first pro gig was Tchaikovsky 5 Insanely Fun Horn Parts. Man, I can barely say that name. I had to transpose all the time where an A on the page actually means means a D, for example. Got good at doing it by sight. Gnarly shit. No fucking challenge here. I wouldn't transpose live for sure. Like even back when I was adept at reading sheet music, I wouldn't be switching clefs or what sounds to be in your case like actually having to rekey things, I guess. Like I wouldn't fucking I mean, on the guitar, it's like the shapes of this, like the scales, they're the same. They're the same shapes, I guess. Like a lot of times you call like the formations that you do with your hands boxes, or like playing in a box, which like with a visual guide it makes a lot of sense why it's called that. But basically all you have to do is move it around different frets, so I guess that's not that bad. Like if you wanted to transpose something up to the fifth and literally just like, oh, I'm gonna like harmonize with whatever my buddy's playing and I happen to know the melody already, I literally just shift it up 2 frets and over 1 string, and then I use the same exact shapes, and it like literally the exact same thing, just on the fifth of every note. Super easy. So like that's not crazy. But if I wasn't aware of that and was like doing that off of sheet music, like I wouldn't be doing it with like staffs, like in my head. I'd just be like looking at a guitar fretboard and be like, okay, so that is played over here and it looks like this. And I move my fingers over here. But like if I wanted to play it over this key, I just move it up here. That's what I'd be like. Oh, the dog is back. Everybody act cool. Everybody act cool. Okay, dog gone. Also, there's some water up there if you guys need a drink. I definitely need some. So I'm well, I don't know if I can go. Oh, car almost ran me over. I don't know if I can go over there without showing my lower half. I don't want to show you guys that. That's a little like be a little yabai. Yeah, you want to know what I'm wearing. You want to know if I'm wearing shorts or a skirt or pants or if I have Android legs. I know what you guys are like. Chat is always DJing. Those are the rules of being a VTuber. Kill the Noises, goated. Fucking KTN lifer right there. Although I will admit, like, good on him for keeping current, I guess, with the progress of dubstep music. But a lot of his last album, not the Hell World, I think is what it's called, the one that's coming out right now. I haven't listened to those tracks, and I am looking forward to it. But the last one that he did, which I forget the name of, I listened through that record, and I wasn't like, I enjoyed maybe like 2 songs off of it, and the rest of them were like, yeah, it's for the rhythm kids, like it's his spin on rhythm music, and I was like, that's cool for somebody who isn't me. I was like, good on him. I wish him the best. I hope that he keeps developing a sound, because I wasn't a fan. And again, like no, that's just my view on the genre. I'm not like, he didn't do anything wrong. he did just fine. His production has always been fantastic. He's always been pushing the envelope. He's always been a stellar producer and always will be, as far as I'm concerned. But that record wasn't for me, so I'm hoping his next one gives me a little bit more to chew on, Because back in the day, French horns didn't have keys. You just switch a slide and boom, you're in horn in D. But since we have keys, we have to transpose. Oh. That instrument sounds too complicated. I'm gonna play the triangle. Ding. Ding, 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 ding. Ding, 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 ding. I'm gonna be the triangle player. I go, ting. I'll do vibrato on the triangle. You want to know how? Book me for an orchestra show and I'll show you. Make sure to cut half of the check to me beforehand, and I'll take the other half later. And I'll show you vibrato on a triangle. Not tremolo either. Vibrato on a triangle. Here's the secret. I need to have a fire source and an ice bucket nearby for quick heating and cooling of the triangle. But I can't give no more trade secrets than that. No. Otherwise, you're all trying to take my secret vibrato triangle technique. I still have my brass instruments, take them out from time to time. I want to record a brass sample pack someday. You know what I'll do? I'll bring my little field recorder whenever I invariably run into you in person, because we're going to meet up at something, and I'm going to have you bring your instruments, and I'm going to fucking record them, dude, and we're going to make a sample pack. we're gonna charge like $100 for that shit, and we're gonna sell it to all the producers that we know. Be like, take all them fools' money, and then when they listen to the samples, they're gonna be like, wait, you literally just went over and over in the samples. But by the time they've heard them and start working with them, they're like, they didn't know, they didn't, it's too late for them to get their money back after they've been swindled. That's how we do it. That's how we do it. We're going to scam our friends. Easy money. Easy clap. What do you mean that's a bad idea? What do you mean that's a great idea? That's what I'm saying. It's a great idea. That reminds me, actually. It's been so long since I've specifically produced a record. Like, I've produced songs here and there, like original compositions, and I've worked on a lot of edits for live sets, but I actually haven't, like, I used to attack, like, a whole record all at once. And I used to do that many years ago. And I think the last one that I started working on and had planned and had like kind of the cover art sorted out for, at least the kind of like campaign, I guess you could say, like the colors for it and the font and everything in the way that I wanted to produce it. I had all of that figured out for that record, but that was at this point maybe 4 years ago. It would have been right at the start of my getting into VR. And once I started playing a lot of shows, I was like, oh man, this is going to be such like easy gains for like introducing my music to people. And instead of taking the opportunity to produce a record and play it out and get a whole release party and shit, I just stopped making original songs except on really rare occasion. And by that point, none of them really fit that record idea that I wanted to do. So the last record I put out was actually just a 2-song single, basically, for PRMD and PRSM. And I made up I got Shiver, shout out Shiver for fantastic fucking visual work. I got that homie to do the music video for it. And I was super jazzed about it. Absolutely loved the way that it turned out. It was so much better than, anything I could have possibly expected for a first music video for me. And once I put that out, it was like there was something that like I guess kind of switched with all my music stuff. Where bangers, hey, appreciate it. The thing that kind of switched for me though was that I started playing a ton of shows, and I started feeling a lot more like people, even if they knew that I was a producer, they weren't like following the music. They weren't looking for new tracks to dig into from my catalog, or even asking like when new music was coming out. They paid a lot more attention to the shows that I was playing, and I was like, maybe that's a thing. So I kind of leaned into that some, where like I still want to produce music, but what I would do is I would put together edits that were really fast for me to do. Like I could crank one out in a half hour kind of thing and have it be usable in a mix. If I wanted to get real special with it, I might take maybe an hour and a half to work on it. But like really fast turnaround times. Back in the day, writing an original song took me 6 hours minimum. And at that point, it would be demo quality. It wouldn't be like ready for release either. So it would take me weeks to finish any one song, times however many I wanted on the record. And of course, the requisite producer time of you make a song, you sit on it for a long time, and then decide that you're not going to come back to it. And that's when you know it's time to release it. You don't put it out as soon as you finish producing it. You produce it, you sit on it, and you think like, I could change like 2 more things about this. And you wait weeks, and then you wait a month, and you still haven't made those changes. And then you come back to the song and you're like, this is ready for release. Or you're like, I'm not going to release this. There's no 2 ways. That's how it works. I never break out of that pattern. Which is kind of nice because it becomes a kind of filter of like, well, your hindsight is sort of 20/20 about those songs. You don't get like married to them too hard. With respect to like, oh, this is ready for release. You have to be really real with yourself that if you're going to come back to a song that's been sitting there for a month untouched, you know whether or not it's ready to put out. You know whether or not you're going to be embarrassed when it's out. But I found more and more I was way more excited about the prospect of like finishing a set, taking the VOD from the event, and then putting the flyer into the video somewhere, and then sticking that on YouTube as part of like my musical resume of sorts. So, excuse me, guys, why are you nursing on the camera? What the heck? You ain't trying to be like that. What the heck? I'm gonna cover that up with a big old head. But yeah, basically I started switching off into being like, well, I don't know that I'm making an active decision to stop producing as much, but I know for sure that I care a lot more about putting together mixes and a lot of times putting in edits that I made into those mixes as like, little tasters, interesting bits, rather than trying to put together original songs. So it's super rare that I put together original songs anymore. Just on certain occasions when I have a really strong idea that I want to work on. Yeah, and I don't hate it, but I also don't love it. It's not it's not really an active decision. It's more of like, I feel like there's something there, like I should be leaning into performances more than producing, so I'm going to do that for a little while. And that's where we find ourselves. So as a result, I haven't worked on like getting any new sample packs for new percussion samples. I have a ton that I love to use, and I keep reusing them. And I don't hate it, but you always want to branch out. You always want to find new sounds to work with, and I just haven't done that at all in so long. Just over the last couple of days, I actually had an idea of a song that I wanted to write and like an edit that I wanted to do to go along with it. Maybe as some kind of a little release of some kind, but that's the only inkling that I've had, for producing music. It's so wild. Yeah, being a recording artist is rough. Feel that heavy. Yeah. Because it's it takes so much of your time and it stresses you out. Like, there's no two ways about it. Like, you can have a ton of fun making a song, but when you're getting it ready for a release, all the fun has turned into some form of work, and you just keep hammering away at it. You don't. I don't think it's possible to have fun all the way through the production and release process. You have to have a segment of like, you have to go through the woods of the super stressy, like, is this ready for release? Am I going to be embarrassed when I put this out? Is this taking my artist image in a direction that I don't want to go? But in the moment, I'm excited about it, so I want to put it out, Or at least those are the thoughts that I used to have. Nowadays, I have a little bit more, like, I can step away from it and just have fun with that kind of thing. But I think as part of that, I've also lost that rigor, and as a result, I don't put out music like I used to. I just play the sets, I like to play homies music. I like to come up with little edits here and there, but, that's not original production, so it's different. The second I start overthinking a record, that's when I know it's ready to put it out or can it. Yeah. You know what my telltale sign used to be when I really got a good pipeline going? What I would do is I would work on a song. It would be my be-all, end-all. It would be the air that I breathed. It would be the water that I drank for days. It would be all I gave a shit about. I couldn't stop listening to it over and over until, you become desensitized to it. Even in the car test, anywhere I'm going, I'm just putting on that song. I put it on loop, And then over the course of those days, I keep adding stuff to it, keep changing stuff, keep finding things to change about it. But I found that the signal to me, the way that I work, that a song is ready to put out is when I start deleting stuff out of it. Like when I put something in and I decide after a day that I didn't like it as much as I thought I would, and I start taking things out, that's when it's time to put it out. So basically, like if I add in 3 things, I end up taking out 2 things, and then when I notice that I'm taking things out rather than adding things in, or like it's just too packed so I can't put anything else in, then I start saying, I think it's time to give this a real name and a cover art, image, and stick it out, on the Bandcamp or the SoundCloud. That was always my signal, and it was a really, really good one. But it would, as you can kind of tell, it would take days to get to that point, so every song became too stressful to work on. So it would be super slow for me to put things out. And then, don't even get me started on the release phase was stressful in and of itself, because back in those days when I was like really adamant with that pipeline, every record was an opportunity for me to get in touch with a label. And I had a list of like 110 labels that I was trying to get the attention of. And it would always be a no, obviously. Or it would be silence, But what that did was that it added this sort of like, oh, if I'm not going to release this myself, that means that I have to wait some indeterminate amount of time to give a label a chance to get back to me and say, we do want to sign this. And what that meant was, in the back of my mind, I don't know how long I need to wait, but I'm just going to wait some really crazy long time stretch, which would always be somewhere on the order of 2 months waiting for responses. And by that point, I've lost the passion for that song, just like you'd probably do, like whenever you do get a label to say, like, yeah, we want to pick this up. We're going to schedule this for a release for next year, And like, you're going to lose the passion over it during that time. So it becomes hard to self-release it because you're not jazzed about it anymore and you want to change your sound yet again. It was hard. It was hard doing things like that. Nowadays, I'm like, there's a few labels that I think would be really cool to send the records over to if I did finish any of them. But like, if they don't pick them up, then I might not put it out at all. I'll just keep it for myself, play it in sets, and it'll just forever be an ID. It is kind of fun having IDs in my sets all the time, but it would be a very different world now, I think, if I went back to doing production and really try to get songs out there. I think I would approach it kind of differently, like way more with like a lot more purpose, I guess, where like if I go to reach out to labels, that's totally fine. But if I don't hear back from them in a certain amount of time, I'm going to put out the songs. I'm not going to get disheartened. I'm just going to schedule it and then say, yep, we're just going to do a release campaign starting on this date. And if I haven't, pulled the plug on the campaign, it's because, nobody got back to me on it. And if I did pull the plug, then I'm gonna be releasing with a label because somebody got back to me and wants to pick it up. So it's, win-win. Get the stuff out. Yo, DJ, ID. Yo, DJ. Yo, DJ. Yo, DJ. All right, what I miss? Sorry, I've been chatting so much, but you guys got me remembering things about what it was like to be a music producer from just a few years ago and how things are so much different in my world now. I've just kind of found a groove for writing records for both of my projects. Stepping away from playing sets has allowed me to just slam my DAW. Dude, I believe it. If I wasn't playing so many shows, I would probably be back in production, which is funny because it's so counterintuitive, right? Like, if you have a platform for always like road testing a new song that's in production, still work in production, then why wouldn't you? But that's not how inspiration works. If I'm playing a bunch of shows, I'm going to be focused on the mix. I'm not going to be focused on this one specific song and this one specific sample that I'm not totally sold on and trying to swap it out. Exactly, that's the production to overthinking to release pipeline. Feel that? I spent so much time on release strategy since I don't have management to do it for me, and that shit is stressful but necessary. Yeah, just get yourself an executive assistant. Easy. You don't need a manager, somebody over you. You need somebody under you. Executive assistant. Music assistant. I'd only set moments. ID only set moments. I mean, you joke, but there was this one, Slyfest actually got me thinking. I went back and I looked at the Slyfest mini that I played last year, and I completely forgot that I packed out that set with half IDs. I literally ended it with a set of like 8 IDs, not counting just live edits, you know. Some of which I would double drop with each other, which I don't usually do, but in those cases, it was like the right time and place for it. Oh, hold on. The dog's telling me all about it. Hey, we're not cool, you and me. You're still a dog, and I'm still a sheep, and I'm a lot bigger than you. I will sit on you. You better behave. Oh. Where'd the dog go? What's the dog doing? You can barely hear him now. Wonder where he went? All right, ladies and gents and others. It's like 2 minutes to the top of the hour, and I'm so hungry. I've been watching these sheep eat for almost 2 hours. As have you, but, you know. I've been watching these sheep eat for 2 hours, and I haven't eaten myself. Oh. The dog squeezed out from under me. Guess I'll just go back over here now. Not on dog duty no more. My set for that one was all ideas from friends and such. Was really fun. Was really fun to do those sorts of sets. I believe it. I used to get ideas from friends. I'd say maybe like a couple years ago, and then I just kind of fell off of doing that. Like, people still send me stuff from time to time, and I love playing it when they do, but I don't like asking people for those. I don't feel right being like, hey, this thing that you've actively decided not yet to put out because you don't feel that it's ready for the world, you should give that to me so that I can put it in front of the world, you know? I know that's not how it comes off, and I certainly would phrase it in such a way to avoid that kind of, you know, experience. But I do kind of get a certain feeling of like, give me something for free. And I don't want to give people that impression. I don't want to give them the feeling that they're like doing me a favor kind of thing. Because it's like, no, I just want to support your music kind of deal. And I'm sure that most people don't read it the same way that I'm thinking that it comes off. But hey, when you're in your head overthinking it, you know, that's just what happens. It's been super great chatting, Kobe. I'm going to get some sleep. Have a great stream. Well, thank you for joining me. Glad to hear that things are going, well, I hope they're going well, but it sounds like they're going busy. So I'm glad to hear that things are busy for you. I hope your time is interesting. I hope that it gives you good stories and that you come away from it with a really good experience. But I think that's actually my cue. I'm going to get these sheep out of this field. This field was never supposed to have this many sheep. I see you looking at me like that. You gotta give it up at some point, man. The sheep gotta come home to roost. Well, not roost, I guess, but you know. What do sheep do? What do sheep do when they're done being in the pasture? I don't know what you call that. Like cows come home. They come home to the barn. Sheep come home to the barn, I guess. Fucking, I don't know. I was a free-range sheep. I still am. I'm about as free as they get. Tell you what. I'm so free they can't even give a discount on me at the store. I'm so funny. Alright, sheep. Skedaddle. Skedaddle. Get out of here. Get out of here. Get out of here. Everybody say bye, sheep. Everybody say goodbye to the sheep. Everybody say goodbye to the sheep. Have fun doing your grass eating. Man. Sheep are a weird group. Hanging out that whole time, they didn't say one word. 2 hours hanging out, they didn't say shit to us. Well, guess it's time to call it here. Thank you for joining me on a chatting stream. I'm gonna call these sheepy chats because I think it's cute. It's like kind of like sleepy chat, but we don't have to be sleepy. I'm glad to see that you folks are actually saying bye to the sheep. We do respect them, you know. They're weird coming through and they're not talking to us, but like they hung out, you know. And they kept that dog interested, so he didn't bug us. So, we are thankful for their contributions. Alright, everybody. Let me make myself a little bit bigger. Let me take up your whole screen. If you're on your phone, I'm gonna take up your whole phone. Ow. I ate your whole phone. Now what you gonna do? I got the 5G in my belly. 5G sheep. Radioactive sheep. My horns be glowing. Alright folks, I'm gonna head out because I'm real hungry and I've got a penchant to go get some food. Yesterday I had very spicy food. And it hurt. It hurt me. My gut was very unhappy today. But we okay now. But that means that I have to get something not spicy to balance it out today. So I'm gonna go find out what kind of foods are out there for me. Might have some of that chaff. Might have some of that alfalfa that they were having. But I think they picked it over pretty good over the last couple hours. I don't know if there's anything left in that field. Maybe I'll eat one of the fish out of that pond. There's gotta be some like little tadpoles in there. You know what you do? You take one of the like panning skillets that they use for finding gold, you know, back in the 1800s, and you pan for tadpoles. You let them bake in the sun. You go, wow, like French fries. Don't ask how I know that. Okay, that's it. That's it for this one. Thank you for joining me. Next week, we will not be streaming. Because I'm going to be seeing some of my sheepy family with Chip. And then, this time next week, I will be back right here in this seat. And I think we'll do... we might not do a stream that weekend, but I figure by that point I'm probably going to be like looking to get in touch with you folks again. So I'll probably start up one, but we'll see. Maybe I'll do stick to the normal schedule of Monday through Friday, but we'll see. Whatever the case is, plan for 7 days without seeing me unless it's on Twitter. If you want to keep up with my activities, I will still be on Twitter. We'll be on to Discord, but you will not catch me doing no streams unless in very extenuating circumstances. And you didn't hear this from me, but there might still be an offshore event next Friday, even though I won't be there to run it. Wonder what could be happening there. But watch the Twitter per usual, watch the Discord if you're interested in the developments there. Otherwise, catch you on the Twitter. You guys be good. And I'll see you next time. Bye, bye. Time for the hair swoosh. Swoosh, 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 swoosh. I gotta open up Unity and make my hair more swooshy. It could definitely be more swooshy. Like look at the hair on my head. Like right on the top, that is. That one could be more woo 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 woo. And the like long hair in the back could be swish, 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 swish. Could be more swooshy. Okay, that's it. Bye. Good night, Noir. I'm gonna miss you guys.